Hi, this is Jan Masters, the Everyday Joy Coach from everydayjoy.com, and I'm here in this video today to talk with you about how owning your shadow aspects makes everything in your life easier. Debbie Ford wrote a book about the shadow a little while ago, and she used an analogy in that book of a beach ball representing the shadow parts of you. And that trying to hold that beach ball, great big huge blown up beach ball, trying to hold it underwater is what we generally do with our shadow aspects. We don't want to own them, we don't want to be conscious of them, we don't want to face them, we don't want to deal with them. But what happens eventually is the arms get tired, a wave comes, something happens, and that beach ball, you guessed it, pops right up out of the water, going every which way. And at that point we have no control over it. And that's what happens when we're triggered into anger, when we find ourselves doing something out of character. A shadow aspect has been triggered and it's out of our control. So doing the deep work of owning your shadow aspects is priceless. Once you're able to acknowledge that a part of you is in shadow, in other words, to put it very simply, you just don't want to know about it. You don't want to know that that's a part of you. I'll give you a good example. I worked with a client the other day, and she was owning the part of her that is able to get extremely angry and express that anger very righteously and very powerfully, and to do whatever it takes to hold her boundaries and her limits and to not let anybody screw around with her. So she called that part of her bitch. That's a shadow, because generally what she does is suppresses it. She holds that beach ball down. Okay? So what we're looking for is the path of ease, where you are able to name that shadow part of you, acknowledge the shadow part of you, and begin to look for the gifts in it. For example, for this client, it was the ability to express very clearly the fact that she knows beyond a doubt what her limits are, what her boundaries are, and she knows when somebody's stepping on her toes. And once she begins to own that and embrace the gifts in that shadow aspect of herself, it's like turning on a valve that has been shut down tightly for a long time, holding energy back. So once that valve is opened, then energy can flow. And then energy can flow between that part of herself when that's a helpful thing to do, and its polar opposite, which is the passive part of her. There's a place for every part of us. If you think of ourselves like a great big disco ball with all these facets, every one of them has validity. Ego has just decided in judgment which ones are acceptable, which ones are not. But it requires so much energy to hold the shadow parts down, and in doing so we rob ourselves of not only energy but skills and talents and gifts and abilities. And so doing the shadow work that allows you to reclaim all of your parts, because you need them all on this journey called life, is a really exciting adventure, and one that will pay off big time. I hope this has been helpful. This is Jan Masters, the Everyday Joy Coach from everydayjoy.com. I'm here to help.